Oh, we're not recording, are we? Yeah, you go, brother.
Now we are.
Now we're recording. Cool.
All right, welcome back to Money Talkers. I have Martyn Cook here with me, and we just got done with an amazing interview learning about nootropics and all the businesses that he's in. Listen to the episodes so you make sure that you can hear about all the places to find him. But I'll give you a quick thing. He's a serial entrepreneur in England and doing some major, massive stuff on a global scale, getting ready to launch. He's a purpose-driven person and also wrote an amazing book about how just improvements on 1% of different aspects of your life have a massive compounding effect. And so with that, I want to bring him on and I want to ask him the one question that makes this a high-impact interview. At the end of this interview, we want you to be able to put your headphones down, put your phone down, and go implement something with your kids today. If you do this one time a week, it's 52 times in a year. You're going to have your own massive impact on your on their financial trajectory, their mindset, and also your relationship. So, Martyn, we're ready to get going. You ready?
I'm ready.
All right, man. So here's the question. What is the one thing that you could teach about that you feel our schools don't, but has had a major impact on your life?
Okay, right. So we were just, I'm smiling because we were just talking about this off air and, you know, my podcast has a similar question. And so I should have an answer ready. And I didn't. And actually the answer that comes to mind, I know a lot of people say. And so the one that I came up with is, I don't know what you would call this lesson. I've scribbled down the difficult path. Okay. Which sounds super sexy and loads of people are going to really like that. But the one thing that I've learned in life is that nothing worth having is easy to get, right? Like it's really, really, really rare that something that's worth having is actually easy to get, right? Think about, you know, how you pursued your spouse, how you got that opportunity, rarely is it easy, okay? And a lot of people sort of chase the easy path or the well-trodden path, i.e. they do it the way that everybody else does it. Not because they're bad people or uneducated people or anything like that. They just do it because that's just the mindset, right? Everyone does it that way. So do it that way, okay? And so I guess one of the casing points, I mean, there's lots of casing points where I've decided to, you know, try and walk uphill rather than downhill, metaphorically, but I'll give one example. So when I was like way back, whenever the age was, I was asked, hey, what do you want to do with the rest of your life? And I said, I don't know what I want to do with the rest of my life. It's a long time. And of course, that's a question you really need to ask if you're going to go on to university or college, right? So I said, okay, if I'm going to go to university, I don't know what I want to do in the rest of my life, but I know that wherever it is that I'm selling and doing, there's going to be people, right, I'm selling to or working with. So maybe understanding psychology will help me, you know, understand people. I'll do a better job of it. So I got a place at Leicester University to study psychology. And I decided, but I'm going to take a year out and between school and school, I'm going to take a year out and jump into the real world. So I jumped into the real world, got a job, really enjoyed the money, and then kind of got a little bit of clarity on university. For me was about getting a bit of freedom, independence, you know, moving out from under the parents' roof, being a real man, and partying, right? And I said, well, can I get this anywhere else without the debt? And for me, what I chose to do was work in a nightclub. I had a day job and I worked in a nightclub at night, scrimp and save all that money, team up with my friend, get a ridiculous mortgage on my first house. And there I was living under my own roof and partying every night without the university debt, beginning to get onto that property ladder. And that was an example of trying to take a different path, and certainly not an easy path, to others. And that's kind of been something that served me well for a long time. There's a good chance that if everybody's doing it one way, it's going to be very difficult for you to get a competitive edge doing it the same way as everyone else. And so challenge your decision, challenge every decision that's made, or every time someone says, oh, you should do it this way. That's a big red flag for me, where you go, why? And drill down to that why. Be annoying about it. Right? You know, make sure you get the answer to that why, because is not an answer. You know, if they go, why? Well, because everybody does it that way. None of those are answers. You need to get to that point and think, if it is the outcome that you want, but you don't necessarily want to go down that journey, or everybody goes that same journey to get to that outcome, challenge yourself, take some time before making the decision, go, can I get to that outcome another way, by doing it a different way to everybody else, at the very least, there's going to be a great story there.
So what this kind of bring it back into what we're talking about with this high impact, like what I'm thinking in my head is there's an opportunity for parents to think about their kids' future differently, because everybody's doing it one way. They're all waiting for the schools to teach them. They're like, oh, well, you'll get out into the real world and then you're going to find out, or we all do that. And I know I was raised that way. Like, it was like, okay, we talked a lot about entrepreneurship, but we never talked about personal finance or anything. So what there's an opportunity to put your kids on a successful pathway if you do it differently than all the parents and everybody's done in their history and the way you grew up.
Sure. Yeah, it's absolutely about just being more aware of your decisions, more aware of the things that you're doing almost automatically or by default or because it's the norm, and challenging it. Like, is this what I want to do? Why do I want to do it? Is this the best way? And so for parents, I think having distilling a curiosity, distilling a reward system for asking why and wanting to understand the logic behind things, and coming up with creative ways maybe to do one thing a different way. And it could be really simple, particularly if they're young children, just coming up with it like, hey, we could eat these noodles with a spoon or chopsticks. Is there another way we could eat these noodles? And it could be a disaster. It could be a messy disaster, but that sort of thing, that's a fun thing to help them find a new way of doing something, a way that is different to other people. And I think
it's okay. It's
yeah.
That's the thing that, like, it's a mindset shift, because you got to be able to realize, like, it's okay. It may not be the best way to do it. Like this, I'm just picturing my head a spoon with a bowl of noodles, but it's okay to do those challenges and to ask your kids to challenge the norm of why everybody's doing things, to be different and to do them in a great way.
Yeah.
It's almost like it's not cool to be great, and I think that a lot of mindset stuff is changed these days with social media being out there, that it's getting a lot cooler to be great,
Yeah.
as long as you're not faking it, but
yeah.
to do some great things out there. And so I like that. So I think you ought to go find a way to have that conversation tonight with your kids, and find a subject that you guys want to talk about, and then ask them to find a different way to do it, and see how far outside of the box you can get.
Yeah, break that mold. Break that mold right down. We don't want more sheep. We want more purple sheep.
That's awesome, because it's almost a forced exercise. But a lot of this too, when we're talking about having these money talks with the kids, is like, it's building relationships with them. And sometimes it needs to be funny and goofy like that for them to look at the world different, because if you don't challenge the world, it's hard to make a mark.
Absolutely.
Man, that's fun, man. We're going to cut it off there, but listen, Martyn, if they want to find more of you, where's the best place to go find you?
You can check me out all over the place. A good starting point's martyncook.co.uk, Martyn with a Y, Cook without an E. Head over to that website, and it tells you a little bit about what I'm doing and some of the projects I've got on, and where you can find me, and where you can get a copy of my book for free as well. So
awesome.
There you go.
Yeah, go check out the book, guys. Also, find him on Smarter Destiny on your podcast. You're going to really enjoy it. He brings a lot of great guests in, and then also me once. But
Cody being one of them.
So listen, appreciate it, man. Thank you.
Thank you.